Anyone else have those like 8 inches on the side of your fridge and you want to do something but you don't know what to do and they don't really sell anything that's that size? Same. So I made myself a hidden storage cabinet. First, I wanted to build the framework for it, and I used what I'm calling a stopper. So that's just something that stays in place and it helps you align multiple boards so that you can cut them to be the same exact length without worrying about, okay, did you accidentally measure it a little bit differently? My nail gun stopped working because I forgot to keep putting oil in it, so learn from my mistakes. I do have a tutorial on how to use a Kreg pocket hole jig, so please check it out if you do not know how. And as always, I put caulk in the seams because I think it makes it look a lot nicer. And in this time, since the boards were so big, I actually used the wall as my stopper, which was nice because you don't really have to worry about the wall moving, so it worked pretty well. No matter what side you're looking at it, I wanted it to still look pretty, so I did add that cladded paneling to the back as well. So if you're in the kitchen, it still looks really nice. And for the edge, I needed it to be like not the full size of the panel, so I did try that one little spacer with my jigsaw and that didn't work. So I went back to my handy dandy track for my saw. And then I did use a universal repair kit to then paint on the edge so that it would be the exact same color as the paneling so that you wouldn't be able to see that I did cut it there. And then my track wasn't long enough to help me cut the paneling, so I did use the spare panel and clamp that down and use that to guide my saw. And it is pretty much the same concept as using a track. Then I used this Kreg concealed hinge jig, which I had never used before, but it was pretty simple to use. That was because I wanted to use these like soft close overlay hinges that I got on Amazon. Just because I was making the door, I didn't want it to be like slamming it, so that's why I wanted to use those. Problem is that, so I use these like E-Joy cladded paneling, and they're pretty thin, so when it said it had to be a 1/2 inch thick, I was like, uh-oh. And I didn't want it to be too heavy, so I didn't want to put like a full sheet of plywood or something. So I added these horizontal boards that I was going to use to attach to my vertical cladded paneling. And they would help hold it together, but also be what attaches to the hinge. And then I did put glue in between, so there's these little crevices where you put them together, and I was putting construction glue in those crevices to help make sure it was more sturdy. And then when I was going to attach the door, so I first attached the horizontal boards, because when you're putting it on hinges, like you have to like toy with it a little bit to make sure that it's perfectly straight. And I thought it'd be easier to do that with the horizontal boards versus the entire door. And I did put paint sticks under the door, that way it would open easily without me having to worry about if it's going to be like hitting the floor when I'm opening it. And then I also added these magnetic push latches, and that would be so that you could just push the door and it would pop open, so I didn't have to worry about adding a handle. So here is the before and after. And if you like this tutorial, as always, please subscribe to my channel and check out my other tutorials.